Hi guys, I'm Ember. Thanks for coming to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about why validating our bodies after a trauma is a really important step for healing. So when a trauma happens, our body and our brain go through processes that are different than in normal everyday life. So our brain a lot of the time disassociates when going through a very traumatic event. And disassociation is when we leave our bodies or there's a numbing that happens, or sometimes we can be outside of our body looking at the trauma, like down at the trauma. And sometimes it can look like there's like a numbing of the senses and you don't even really, you're not there. It's almost like you're not even there anymore. And that happens, and it's a beautiful mechanism because I would not have wanted to have experienced my trauma at full force ever. And so that's a beautiful thing that happens. But a lot of the times later on in life, when you start remembering just very small snippets of things that have happened to you, usually that happen in childhood, you start realizing, oh my God, did something happen to me? And a lot of the times our brain's like, no, it didn't. It didn't happen to you. Why would it? That's not possible. Like our brain, the way it works, it's like, no. Logical. No, it doesn't work like that. But our bodies are like, no, this happened to me. I know this happened to me. A lot of the times you can have sensations. You can have sensations sometimes of the abuse that actually happened to you, which is, it can be very overwhelming and very alarming. And when you're first going through this, just that part is extremely shocking and horrible. And if you're going through that, I'm so sorry. I have been through it and I know exactly what it feels like. And it's really unsettling and it's scary, and you're like, you're almost experiencing it for the first time because your brain doesn't remember, right? So it's like you're experiencing this for the first time. And when I experienced my trauma for the first time, it was really shocking. And I was actually in group therapy and when this started happening, and I was just started to bawl. And I would come out of it like it was actually happening. I would come out of it and I would be like, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. And then I would be like, it happened to me. And then I would like go into like just sobbing uncontrollably about what happened to me. And it was like a shock. I was shocked, and then I would go into believing it, and then I would come out into shock, and then I'd be like, no, that's not true. And then I would go into it's just crazy how in the beginning it can be a lot of like that kind of back and forth energy, and that is very exhausting. But what was more important for me was, I really didn't want to believe what happened to me was true because it was an important person in my life. At the time they were in my life, I had completely forgotten my trauma, and I really didn't want it to be true. And I just really wanted more than anything for it not to be true. And so that was another part that was happening. It was like, no, this can't be true. I don't want this to be true. And so I was forcing myself to remember things that maybe I wasn't ready to remember yet. It was like I would go through meditation and I would, ask what happened to me, and I would start to see things. And, the first step for me was kind of, even having all that brain chatter was really validating the fact that my body was having an experience, and my body's experience is important. And once I started validating that part and saying, this happened to me, and validating that inner child that's wounded and scared and just completely like, no one will ever believe me. Validating that was the most important thing to healing. And I feel like just getting this message out is so important. Validate yourself. If you think that something happened to you, it doesn't really matter if it happened out there. I mean, of course we want it to matter. We want it to be like, yes, this happened to me. I know for 100% fact that this happened to me. But sometimes things don't happen like that, And to heal and to be able to heal, we need to be able to validate ourselves. And I want you to know that once you validate yourself, once you say, I know this happened to me, I believe you, that's when the healing can start to happen, because then you can move from there. Because if you don't believe what happened, then you can't heal, because there's nowhere to go. Because if it didn't happen to you, then what is there to heal, right? So if you have this happening to you, I'm really sorry that this is happening to you, and I have so much compassion for what you're going through. If it happened to you, I also have compassion for what you went through, and I just want to commend you if you've healed some of this stuff too, because I know that there's some of you out here that have. And so wherever you are in your journey, keep validating yourself. And And the more you validate yourself, the better it is. And also the more you'll remember. And I know that remembering is scary, but once you get over the part that's really scary and start to have compassion and bring love and support for yourself, then that is where the healing happens. And I really, if you're watching my channel, I appreciate you so much. And I just really hope that this helps. And hit the like and subscribe button if you can. And thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.